Well, that was a decent performance, not the prettiest and not the greatest game of football to watch, but in the end we get ourselves 3 huge points going into the international break. Welcome back to Analysing Arsenal. Of course, it's my Arsenal series where I give my thoughts and reactions to every single Arsenal game of the 2017-18 Premier League season. Thank you so much for the support that you're showing on this series. Absolutely means the world to me. And today I'm giving you my thoughts and feelings from the game at the Emirates Stadium in the Premier League, which saw Arsenal beat Brighton by 2-0. A very comfortable win at the end, but it wasn't a comfortable game, shall we say. Now, these are the type of games that Arsenal are expected to win. You know, over the years, we've come accustomed to winning games against the lesser teams and doing them well. Maybe having a couple of slip-ups here and there along the way, but you know, it's mostly where we get most of our points against the lesser teams. It's against the big teams that we start to fail and to kind of fall into place. But it's against the lesser teams where we pick up the most amount of points. And today, coming into the game, you didn't really expect anything other than an Arsenal win, and anything other than an Arsenal win would have been a failure, and I would have condemned to a failure in my eyes. But we do get ourselves 3 big points and go right back now into that top 5, which is basically where Arsenal should be. And you know that it's just a positive having a win today, and you know getting up and getting close to the Manchester club, being on level points with Chelsea, and kind of getting towards Spurs. Liverpool have the chance to go ahead of us, but all in all, we've done our bit and going into national break and looking at what we've done in September. It's a very, very, it's encouraging and it's a very good performance. In the game against Brighton today, we flew out the blocks really to start with. Alexander Lacazette, after kind of 2-3 minutes, just absolutely from outside the box about 40 yards, and he curls it and it just hits the post and goes out. It's a really spectacular chance, and it would have been quite a sumptuous goal had he converted it. But that was after just a couple of minutes, and we absolutely bossed Brighton. But you know, Brighton, respect to them, they sat off us. They knew that they weren't going to have lots of the ball. They knew that we were going to have majority of possession, and they respected us, particularly at the Emirates, where you're not going to get a lot of the ball. And their job was to defend well and be solid as a unit, and then try and hit us on the break. And in kind of the early stages, particularly once we got that first goal, it was all Arsenal, and we were a little bit slow. Like, we were quite sluggish in today's game, particularly in that first half. We were passing it around sideways, trying to, walk it in, cut inside, go down the right-hand side, pass it back, then pass again, pass that way. We were trying to score the perfect goal, right? And we really weren't, shooting from outside the box. Like I said, had that chance, but we didn't really shoot from outside the box, too many times in kind of the opening 10-20 minutes. A lot of times when we did shoot, it was just blocked by, the Brighton defence. And, we were just keeping the ball. We weren't really doing anything with it. We weren't really penetrating them. But it then comes in the 20th minute, ball comes in, and Brighton have 4 attempts to clear it. They fail to clear it, and Monreal finally heads up and smashes in the goal. It's only his 2nd ever Premier League goal, Nacho Monreal, and converted it really well. Basically had an open goal, if we're being perfectly honest, but it was a decent shot nonetheless. And we go 1-0 up, and you're thinking at that point, we're just going to absolutely, walk away with this game. It's going to be a very, very easy game, very comfortable, and, it's a question of how many goals can we rack up by the end of the afternoon. And also, to the point where, we got in that first 20 minutes, and I was thinking, we are going to score. It's just a matter of when, when do we score? But as soon as we got our first goal, it kind of made Brighton, step up the gears, and Brighton started to kind of get into action and started to cause us problems. Their best player today was a player called March. I've never ever heard of him, but he was absolutely superb for Brighton today. And as soon as we got our first goal, Brighton woke up and they started causing us problems on the counter. Arsenal are great going forward, but it's just, the way that we defend. And, our defence has always been, our defensive faculties have always come to fruition. And Brighton exposed that on numerous occasions. March had a fantastic chance, absolutely superb chance outside the box. He passed in, and again he hits the post and it goes out wide. He caught the defenders, the defenders were gaping, and it caught, all of Arsenal's defence off guard, and it really should have been a goal. It comes back in, and Brighton can't get the rebound. And they had a couple of really good chances. They were counting well. They could have done better at a couple of moments when they had the ball, but they caused problems for us, and it really wasn't. From kind of the 25th minute to half time, it wasn't a comfortable, pretty game. We were having majority of the ball, we were keeping the ball, we were being quite slow and lackadaisical. But Brighton, when they got the ball back and had a couple of moments where they really were, they looked promising and looked decent going forward, and that, was slightly worrying from Arsenal point of view. And, if you're Brighton and you're Chris Hughton, you probably get to half time, and, being only 1-0 down is probably the most encouraging thought you're going to have. To be only 1-0 down is special, particularly against an Arsenal side who can blow you away. You can regroup at half time and go again. We get into the second half and we literally just blow Brighton away in the second half. It is great football. That we're not just keeping the ball, but we're penetrating, we're causing problems, we're getting through the channels, going down the left and right, causing problems. Alexis Sanchez today was absolutely electric. He was absolutely phenomenal. Alexis Sanchez, he did so well today, and he starts the attack for the second goal that comes in. Sanchez just runs in, goes into the pockets, and then he does a beautiful bit of skill to flick it back, and then just does turns around, flicks it back, falls to Iwobi, and Iwobi curves it in to the left-hand side to make it 2-0 to Arsenal. And at that point, it is game over, and it really is, can we get any more goals? And, can we just keep a clean sheet and just finish off the game? But it was a beautiful bit of skill, and Alexis Sanchez really should have scored today. He created a lot of chances. He's an absolutely spectacular player. I don't think he's going to be here next season in Arsenal shirt, so while we have him, this could be like the last season we see, the skill and the craftsmanship that is Alexis Sanchez. But today he was absolutely superb. He's so quick, he's athletic, he's agile, and he's just so sharp and intelligent on the ball, and he causes any defence any sorts of problems, and he can win you games on his own. And today, and he still hasn't got himself a Premier League goal yet, but a goal will come. It's just a matter of when and not where. So the game kind of peters out. We keep the ball, we bring on Giroud and Walcott, we rest Lacazette and Alexis Sanchez, probably bringing off Lacazette because of the French national team to make him fit for the World Cup qualifiers that are to come for France. And, the game kind of starts to end, and, we're just keeping the ball, we're creating chances. But then in sort of the last 15 minutes, Brighton do just what they did in the first half, where they wake up and come alive. And today they really should have got themselves a couple of goals. They really should have. They had a couple of really good chances when Murray came on for Brighton in the second half. He had a couple of really good opportunities. He's a proper, number 9. He's the focal point of the team, and a lot of balls were crossed into him, and he really should have finished a couple of chances and made Czech work even harder than he already did work in the game. But, once you got to about the 86th, 87th minute, you knew it was game over. But had Brighton got one back in kind of the two spells that they were, not dominating but creating a lot of promising chances, then it could have been a very, very different story. But we get ourselves the win at the end of the game. It was one of those games that wasn't the most enjoyable to watch. We had a couple of really good moments. Brighton had a couple of chances here or there, but the quality that we have, and kind of we're just a better team than Brighton, and that overall quality got us the win at the end of the game. There was nothing really special. We had a couple of defensive moments, which against a better team would have been punished for, but that's always the case with Arsenal. We always get punished from our defensive mistakes, and today luckily we were up against a side who really couldn't cause us problems, but we did make the mistakes. Credit to Brighton, they're a great team. Chris Hughton, I think he's going to keep Brighton up in the Premier League. They're going to be absolutely fine. They're a great team to watch. It's an absolute privilege to have them back in the Premier League, here at the big time. It's just great for their fans really to see Brighton compete in the top league in England. It really is a warming sight to behold, and it's against the Leicester teams that they've got to get themselves the wins to get them over the line and keep them safe in the Premier League. Against the big teams, particularly away from home, it's going to be quite rare for them to actually get a result. But as for Arsenal, in September we've scored 16 goals, we've only conceded 3, we've not conceded any in the Premier League since the game at Anfield against Liverpool. Kept a clean sheet against Bournemouth, Chelsea, West Brom and now Brighton. And we go into the international break very different from the last international break. In the last international break, Arsenal were in a crisis. It was like, after that Liverpool game. We're just in disarray. Things are just going to get worse and worse and worse, and we're just at rock bottom. And then Arsene Wenger goes to work, and in September he's done wonders. And today it was the anniversary, 21 years to the day that Arsene Wenger took charge of Arsenal, 1st of October 1996. And he's 3 years older than me, or no, 2 years older than me. See, my maths is a bit dodgy. Yeah, 2 years older than me, and that is just absolutely crazy. To be in a job 21 years, he's had some great times, he's had some horrible times, but you can't disregard what he's brought to the game. He's changed the modern game. He revolutionised the English game absolutely 100%. And in the first kind of 10 years, he was absolutely outstanding. In the second 10 years, he's kept Arsenal sustainable. He's overseen a move from Highbury to the Emirates Stadium. He's won us trophies in the FA Cup, made us the most successful team in the FA Cup. Has given us the Invincibles. He's given us a lot of good moments. Yes, we'd like to see Arsenal be a bit more competitive nowadays in the Premier League and Champions League, but over 21 years he's been an absolute servant to Arsenal Football Club. He's given his life, his soul, his sweat. He's given everything to Arsenal Football Club, and for that I really am grateful for him. So I'm glad he's had a good birthday, particularly getting a win here. And we're now 5th. We're level on points with Chelsea. We're 6 points behind the Manchester clubs, and we go into the international break raring to go. We can relax. We're in a good position. I think the lowest we're going to be is 6th if Liverpool beat Newcastle, and this is going up at the time of that game kicking off. So it'll be interesting to see if Liverpool overtake us, or if Newcastle can do a job on Liverpool and actually help us out and keep us 5th. But after the international break, we've got Watford away, we've got Everton. Our next huge game's on bonfire night against Manchester City, so we can continue. And I think we've also got Swansea, so in October we can keep this win one going. And if we can go 2 months unbeaten, it will just give us a lot of confidence, to give us a huge boost going into that Manchester City game. And everything is going right at the minute. We're into the top 5. We're playing very, very good football. And today we got the job done. It wasn't the most prettiest game, it wasn't the most enjoyable game, but all in all, it was a good result. And I'm kind of sad there's an international break, but it gives Arsenal time to regroup and go again as well. There's going to be no analysing Arsenal now for 2 weeks. Obviously, we're going to be on the international break, but there's going to be lots of other great content on my channel, so stay tuned. That is going to be the end of the video for today. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. We're 8 subscribers away from 100 subscribers. I'd love to hit that before my 19th birthday. And we've also hit 4,000 views today. So, we're nearly halfway to that 10k milestone, which is absolutely incredible. Thank you so much for the support. Each and every one of you means so much for me. And this is DJ Bagpuss signing out. And until the 14th of October at Vicarage Road when we play Watford, I shall speak to you then. Take care and see you all later. See you all soon.